People often ask me, how did I get involved in wood? Well, just something that I was drawn to. And I had a woodwork teacher who was not a woodworker to start with, he was a ceramicist. And he got us to think about wood differently to the thinking of the time. We're talking late 70s, where wood was seen as a functional material, and he used to get us to use recycled material and salvage our own material, which was quite a unique way of dealing in those days, rather than just going to the rack that was filled with all sorts of exotic timbers and just abusing the hell out of them because they were there. So as my time at high school drew to an end, I started looking for life beyond secondary school and tried to find a course that would enable me to work with wood in a creative way. So I wasn't interested in doing a trade, and I wasn't going to be a teacher either, but it seemed that the only course that I suited and it suited me was one that was a teacher training course. During the Christmas holidays, I received a phone call saying, you've got a job waiting for you at Watsonia High. Watsonia High, which no longer exists, was about 5 kilometres away. So I was finding a balance between doing the thing that I loved and the thing that was providing me with an income, which I enjoyed. I enjoyed the job, not just the income. I remember I had a Year 8 class one time, and one of the Year 12s was approaching the end of the year, and she had a free period, and she came in and she said, can I work on my piece while you've got your Year 8 class? I said, yeah, not a problem. And she'd made a coffee table out of red gum with a slate insert in the top. And she got a tin of oil out of the cupboard and got a rag and put the oil on the rag and wiped it over the red gum, and the wood just came to life. And she just took a step back and looked at this piece of work, and the look on her face was, did I really make that? And I turned to the Year 8 students and I said, that's what makes teaching such a rewarding job. It irritated me often in teaching to hear people say, oh, so-and-so's not all that academic, but they'll be good with their hands. And it's as if there's this chasm between being smart and being good with your hands. You don't need to have a brain to be good with your hands. So if your brain's not that good, you'll be able to do something using your hands. And the reality is, that's a load of rubbish. If you find an item that you like, try and identify what it is in that item that you like. Is it the shape? Is it the colour? Is it the weight? Is it the texture? Is it the overall appearance? Is it the lightness, the delicacy, the heaviness? Try and identify those things and then try and work out the opposite. Find a piece that you don't like and see what it is that doesn't appeal to you. Is it the texture? Is it the colour? Is it the material? And then try and develop a repertoire of understanding in your own mind of what it is that creates your aesthetic. I'm not precious about myself and I'm not precious about my work, but I am precious about wood. I can see a purpose in almost any piece of wood. I get an idea and I just have to explore it because I don't want to die wondering. I just find that there are still more and more things that I get inspired by. I get ideas and I want to explore them. And it's not necessarily that an idea starts and finishes as the same thing. There's a whole period of evolution in between where an idea that looked really good up here needed a lot of tweaking to make it a successful three-dimensional object. And for that reason, I often repeat things, not intentionally, but I come back to an idea and not in sequence. It's not as if I start with idea number 1, followed by the second version, followed by the third, by the fourth, by the fifth. That's an important thing, the fifth, because so many times, and it's not something that I plan on, but I find that I get to the fifth version and that's where it peters out. And it might have been that I started on that A piece and then went to another. it may be that the time from inspiration through to piece number 3, 4 or 5 might be 2 years. And what I find is that I work in cycles. My mind works in cycles where an idea that evolved out of making another piece can be tied back into a previous concept. So I go back and I explore that one as well. And I came to the conclusion that it's probably a creative form of ADD that I have, that I can't start and finish a piece in one go. I get distracted and I start on another one. And then I get distracted and I start on another one. So yeah, maybe it's a different type of ADD that I have. I dare say that the day that I die, with all my incomplete projects, all that they need to put on my tombstone is, he just ran out of time.